perfectly default to.
Yeah, dude, that's just so weird to me.
I don't think I'm gonna get it. I've got enough
I'm not,
games.
because I already own it on the Switch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'd probably sooner get it on the Switch, frankly.
maybe I'll put it in my wish list, and if I see it drop to like a ridiculously low price like I do with some Final Fantasy games, I'll just pick it up again. Like, I have every Final Fantasy game I don't currently own in my Steam wish list, so if it drops down to like $5, I'll pick it up because of some like seasonal sale.
Hey, look at this. A bunch of people obviously agreed with me. Modders dethrone CGI to restore glorious full motion video in the Myst remake.
Nice.
Some fans did not like the new CGI replacements for Myst iconic scenes.
I
And they
really
stuck the-
like FMVs. I don't know why we don't integrate them anymore.
Yeah. The CGI sequences they kept them in the Real Myst 2014 remake. Like, why did they redo them? They're terrible.
I don't know.
They're absolute. The CGI is terrible.
That would be like remaking the Red Alert series and taking out all of the videos of the actors who played like the leaders of the countries and replacing them with CG. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Unless, for some reason, which this shouldn't apply with Myst, since it was the literal creators of the game that played all the characters. In like the case of Red Alert, I could understand, because maybe they lost the right to use the actors. They used actual actors in it, like the Emperor of Japan, and I think Red Alert 3 was George Takei, right? In a case like that, I can understand. You might not be able to use the actor's likeness anymore in a remake. But in Myst, it's the devs. Like, how would you lose the rights to their likeness? Or like, why would they not even allow you to use their likeness again? Of course, they would want to still be in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Wow, it looks really good. It's funny. So yeah, there is a way. It's up on the Myst Steam community discussion board. You just download these MP4 files and insert them into the game, and it just works.
Yeah. Wait long enough, somebody will probably make it work to where you don't even have to do that. They'll just make a community workshop, like a workshop file for it, and you can just download it straight into the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. I think I've talked about this before, but Steam really revolutionized how modding worked with the way the Steam Workshop is. Because it used to be a pain in the ass to mod shit. You know, you had to load it yourself. You usually had to get like some type of compiler or third-party app that was specific to that game. Then you had to sit here and try to figure out what order do I need to load the mods in so they don't like conflict with each other and crash the game. The Steam Workshop just handles all that for you. It's like you don't even have to think about it. It's just like, okay, these are the ones I want. Okay, clearly some of these don't work together no matter what order Steam decides to load them in. So I'll just remove this one. Oh, hey, look, everything works now.
Yeah. Well, I might have to replay it through again, only this time
The right way?
with the original. Yeah. Let me see if they'll read me. To install these, place them in the following folder inside the Myst game folder. Yeah. Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Very cool.
But anyway.
Anyway.
Welcome to the Vomitorium. Our main weekday or weekend show, the Saturday show. Vomitorium number 96. We're almost there to 100 of the main show. As always, I am your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. How you doing today?
Just fine and dandy. I slept a little late, but to be expected on a Saturday, I suppose.
I tried to sleep late, but these fucking dogs, man. Blow my head out.
I'm looking forward to It's weird going from being a contractor to being a full-time employee. I was getting paid every Friday at Clockwork every single week.
And now it's bi-weekly?
And now it's actually semi-monthly, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So instead of getting paid, I don't even get paid every other Friday. I get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month.
Okay.
So I don't get paid
That's
until
still kind of bi-weekly though, since most months are only 4 weeks. But yeah, that would be the more accurate way to say it.
Yeah, so I don't get paid until Tuesday. So sorry.
Yeah. Well.
But I'm getting used to it. Of course, I'm getting paid more total because I don't they're not having to pay the contracting company.
Yeah.
But it still feels like less because I get paid less often.
And because you're full time, you can actually start working towards raises.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I effectively got a raise when I went to full time, and then, and I do get days off. I can take days off, and I don't not get paid. It's salary. That's a nice thing because, yeah, when I was a contractor, if I took a day off, I wouldn't get paid for that day. So, I am taking next Friday off because that's the move-in weekend.
Yeah. We were talking about that after the stream. Yeah. Should
be fun. I got a bunch of stuff. I think I mentioned that there's no microwave, so I need to get a microwave. But there is a dishwasher. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
kind
of used to washing all my dishes by hand, but it is helpful to have a dishwasher. My problem is I hate the dishwasher here. Everybody else uses it. But I fucking it sounds like it's gonna explode every time it goes off. There's like this really loud, high pitched whirring sound that happens. It's an old dishwasher, and it's like, I don't trust this fucking thing. I just wash everything by hand and let it dry.
Yeah, I think my mom's gonna have to get a new one because she just had it serviced and they replaced a filter or something, but yeah, it's still not working right. It ends up just like filling up with suds. Like the soap isn't draining. So I think you better get a new one. So
definitely.
Hopefully my quote unquote new one will work fine.
Hopefully.
Otherwise I'll have the landlord fix it.
Well, that is the benefit of renting, is that you have to pay like a deposit and stuff, but you're not liable to fix anything in your place. In fact, you would be liable if you tried to fix anything in your place.
Yeah.
It's all up to, tenants' rights. You have a landlord. They have to fix that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Although sometimes I will fix, like in my last apartment, the disposal under the sink was all nasty and wasn't really working very well. And I went to Home Depot, got a new one, and installed it myself. It was like, just do it myself. I don't know if they probably for some reason didn't appreciate that when I moved out. I'm sure they
probably
noticed.
Wouldn't know.
Like, yeah, probably not. But it was a nice one. I was like, I am not going to let them fiddle with this old one or replace it with a new crappy one. I'm going to get a nice one.
Yeah, because that's always the problem. They a lot of them, they'll just skimp out like, well, could always try to just fix it. We don't need to replace it. That costs a lot of money. Dude, our fucking heater just didn't work at the last apartment I was at. And we kept asking for them to come in and service it. And they'd be like, oh, no, it works. And then, like, there's no fucking heat coming out. Or one time, they didn't even compensate us for it because we had to pay for our own electricity. We had the heat not working almost at all, the normal heat. And we asked him to come. He's like, oh, our maintenance guy isn't here for the weekend. You're just going to just go and run the emergency heat mode until the weekend's over. I was like, you fucking kidding me? You know how much that burns?
Oh. Well, my maintenance guy apparently lives a couple doors down.
That's good.
Because the guy pointed him out, his his maintenance truck was like in the parking lot, and he's like,
well,
"Oh
you
yeah,
said
that's
it was
the maintenance
privately
guy."
owned, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which you have more incentive to have somebody live on site to do maintenance.
Yeah.
The apartment I was at was owned by a company that actually changed ownerships halfway through the time that we lived there, so that fucking sucked. But because of that, their maintenance people were contract, right? They were hired. They weren't. I mean, I guess you'd say all of them are contract, but they weren't like somebody that was being paid to live on site and everything with like reduced cost or whatever because they were working there. Yeah, there were people that came and they drove in and they had an office that they'd hang out with all day, but after hours they'd go. It's not like you really don't want to bother somebody in the middle of the night, but it's not like you had somebody there that in case of emergency could just wake up and come over.
Yeah. I have a sunroom, which reminds me of John Dillard's whatever trail. I don't know what is he in a trailer when he's live streaming?
It's that that mini home trailer that he was building, and the reason it looks like he's inside like a fucking 60s sci-fi movie or whatever is because of all the insulation he put on the wall since he lives in fucking California.
Yeah, so I've got a sunroom, but it's I'm probably not. Well, I might live stream from out there, like from my phone or something, or maybe from my laptop. But it's not heated or air conditioned, so it's not where I'm going to be putting my computer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it might be fun to be out there. It had like windows, but I think maybe they have screens so you can open them at least. Get a breeze in there. So that'd be nice.
Yeah. Nice little viewing.
And I
just sit there.
Did I tell you I figured out? Yeah, I told you that. I figured out the unit.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, if they have screens, actually, the good thing about that is you could just smoke in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't even ask, what the policy is about smoking, but I'm probably just going to go out there because it's still like indoors, so I can like sit down and maybe I'll put a TV out there or something like that. But at least it's in and out, it's outside of the apartment. So
yeah, and it'll be like it's adjoined by the wall, right? So even during the winter time, it won't be heated, but it'll still be warmer there from being next to the heated wall than it would be going directly outside. Yeah. And it would cut the wind as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I guess I could get like a space heater out there, but I mean, I'm not going to be in this apartment long enough.
No, you won't.
It's not going to be.
I'm just talking like more on like a practicality effect, like if somebody was there in the same situation at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of practicality. Start complaining about something.
Good segue.
Yeah. And it's fucking the Cowboy Bebop. With, what's that fucking actress's name? I already forgot her name.
I don't even know.
The
one who plays Faye.
Yes, the one who plays Faye. Let me go look this up real quick.
Did you see somebody...
I saw the images
tweeted...
from the other thing she was in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find them right now, but...
Daniela Pineda is her name. Right. Now, here's the thing. Like I was telling you before, I'm kind of like the first person that will defend outfit changes in live action stuff for various reasons. But also, like... I really don't care if outfits are 100% accurate as long as you get the feeling of the character and their look down, right? And when I saw her character at first, I was like, okay, it's not the closest you could get it, but I immediately recognized that that's Faye without having to be told that it was Faye. That's good enough for me when it comes to most live action things. Even though it is funny that 9 times out of 10, the porn parodies of stuff tend to be more accurate with the outfits than like Hollywood is. That's always kind of weird. But I'll be like the first one to defend the outfit changes, especially if the original outfit was actually impractical, right? Because it's a lot easier to work with impractical outfits in animation than it is in live action. But then, I completely changed my opinion when the person wearing said outfit, who's not even in charge of costumes, that's not their job, they're just an actor, comes out and starts bitching to the fans who were complaining about the outfit change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this earlier too. Yeah. So that's the thing. So she came out and she started, like, I guess, attacking fans. I didn't see everything about it, but I did see enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, she obviously doesn't know anything about the manga or the anime or whatever. There was
a manga, but not originally. The Cowboy Bebop was an anime, but then it got like a manga adaptation later. Like, you know, sometimes cartoons will get a comic adaptation or something.
But she claims that the original character is 6 feet tall, had double D breasts, and it's like, none of that's true. What are you talking about?
That's not true. Let's see. Faye was actually roughly my height. I think she's like 167 centimeters, which is about 5'6"-ish. It's like 5'5", and 167.5 is exactly 5'6". So she's roughly my height. Not very tall. I would say maybe you could say she's pushing close to a double D. She's probably just like a solid D. Just looking at her, it's a little larger than a C. Probably just a solid D, because they have more realistic proportions than most anime characters do. In general, like the way the characters are drawn. I would say she's just solid D cup. They're not ridiculously big. They're just kind of like enough that you can see them at all times from like any zoom out or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, the original outfit is impractical, but not for even the reason she was trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Because looking at that tweet that you shared too, she's worn skimpy outfits before. Mm-hmm. There is a difference between that skimpy outfit in the tweet and the one that Faye wears in the show, and it could have still been skimpy, because what I'm about to complain about could have been resolved without changing the length of the outfit or anything. The problem with Faye's outfit...
Well, go ahead.
The problem with Faye's outfit is that it is a bifurcated piece that is fastened by a single metal button. Like, you know those metal fasten buttons that you get in coats and stuff? That you kind of like clip together? By a single metal button right where the tension would be the heaviest on the outfit. Now, I don't know if you've ever worn anything that gets fastened by a button at all. Most people have. Usually... you have many buttons, so they reinforce each other. But still, if you're like wearing a button-down shirt or something, and you do anything remotely athletic, one or two of the buttons are probably going to come undone, right? I even have a heavy-duty trench coat that uses those metal buttons, and occasionally the buttons come undone while I'm doing things. So that is a very impractical outfit. If you did a flip with the size of her breasts and the way that how tight that outfit is and the way her back has to arch and stuff, it probably would come undone. And the way her breasts are sitting, she's clearly not wearing like a bra or something underneath. So there are multiple ways this problem could have been solved without going the route that they went. One, could have left the outfit as is. It wouldn't be as sexy because she'd have to wear some type of like bra underneath, so that if the outfit did come undone, it would still retain the character. She's kind of a sexy character. I don't think she would actually care in the middle of combat if her top came undone. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So having a bra would solve it. Or changing how it's fastened with like a buckle, because like an actual full buckle wouldn't come undone. Or even just making it like a single piece that you pull over, like the one in the picture in the tweet, would also solve that problem. There's a lot of quick fixes that barely change the outfit design that would solve this impracticality problem.
Yeah. Well, what's sad is that, like, Netflix and these people, they're so, like, 1950s puritanical. Like, what the hell's wrong with them? I don't even understand.
Yeah, I know.
What happened? what happened to the 1960s sexual revolution and stuff? It's like, oh, screw that. We want women to be, covered up and in the kitchen, apparently.
Yeah.
Or something.
Something like that. It's like,
I mean,
I even said I didn't hate the outfit when I first saw it, right? Like, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It still looked enough like her. If the actress came out and said the most responsible thing any actor can say, hey, I'm just doing a job. I'm not in charge of costume design. Take that up with my boss. I'd be perfectly fine with that, Like, that is 100% reasonable thing to tell people.
Yeah. Or just said, look, we stand behind the show. We think it's a great show. We did our best, and if things aren't perfect, we're really sorry, but we think you'll really like it anyway, and give it a try. How hard is it to just be like a normal, respectful human being?
Oh, it's
instead
the
of
internet.
a snarky.
You're not allowed to be respectful.
Yeah, you have to be a snarky asshole.
No. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Or nothing. Say nothing, since nobody's talking about you anyway.
Yeah, again, you're just an actress. It's like, I've always been like, hey, in any of these shows or movies and stuff, don't ever go after the actors. They're just doing their job. They usually don't have anything to say in here. Like, sometimes you could claim maybe a costume change is on the actor, right? Maybe an actor just wasn't comfortable with the costume that they were wearing, and they demanded a change, or they were going to quit or something like that. It happens. Look at Smallville as an example. The guy playing Superman refused to wear the tights. And that's why Smallville stayed Smallville for as long as it did, even when they ended up going to Metropolis. It happens. She could be the reason. I don't know. But she could have easily just played it safe and took the blame off of herself and put it on the production company.
Mm-hmm.
Because actors are they're performing a service. They're doing a job.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my dinner.
Yeah. Do you need to get it, or?
I might get some of it. Do you mind?
Yeah, you can go get it. I'll keep talking.
Do you mind if I eat egg rolls while we talk?
I encourage you to eat egg rolls.
All right, be right back.
Okay. CGMT. Is CG the breast? We can CG anything else. Yeah. There's also a weird thing about how, and I don't think anybody else brought this up, but, or like anybody in the team didn't bring it up. So I saw somebody on Twitter bring it up. Now they're talking about how she was race swapped, which is factually true. Faye is from Singapore, and the actress is I don't know, some type of Latina Hispanic descent. I don't really know her background. I don't really care about that too much. But I mean, specifically, okay, Mexican it says here. But everybody cares about race swapping and stuff like that, so to bring it up. She's still kind of like, physically, aside from the chest, she doesn't look that much unlike Faye, so that doesn't bother me all that much. I care more that people kind of like resemble the characters than like anything else. Yeah, all that aside, if she never said anything, I would have watched it. I might still watch it too, just see, because it doesn't look like it's gonna be bad. But like, the attitude, the fucking attitude, that's what bothers me.
Sorry, I realized I coughed before I muted.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So stupid. I don't know if anyone suggested she say something, but it's like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Quit making it about you.
Especially when, like, that's the only outfit that even needs complaints, right? Like, because all the other ones, look fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like,
yeah, it's funny too because like most people aren't even complaining about the other race swap in there, right? Because he looks fine. It's her now because she was the one that acted up, and they're like, well, you know, Faye's from Singapore, not Mexico.
but like, I don't know what they hope to accomplish, because if she went out there and said what we said, and like, you know, sorry if people are disappointed or whatever, but you know, it's the costume designer or not, you know, their costume choices. I didn't really have anything to do with it, and you know, I think we did a great job, and we hope you enjoy it or whatever.
Yeah.
Then everyone would be defending her. Everyone would be like, "Oh, well, she's really nice, and
Yeah.
she cares about the fans and all that."
Yeah, we haven't even seen Ed yet. We have no idea what they're doing with her. Like, at all.
Who's that?
Ed's the little girl with the goggles, the redhead. That you kept seeing in the pictures, but we didn't have a live action version yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I brought this up last time. Originally wasn't going to be a corgi. And then this was like back in 2018 when they first announced the show. Was it actually? It might have been way earlier. When did they first announce it? Actually, it might have been 2016 when they announced it, because I think I talked about this on the old version of the podcast, and it's just been in development hell since then.
Yeah, GMT's right though.
Yeah,
Ed's gonna be black. Ed's definitely gonna be black.
they already race swapped somebody to black, but yeah, probably.
I mean, they haven't announced the actor, right?
No.
Actress, whatever.
Now, if anyone was going to actually be race swapped with black, Ed would probably be the one that would be the least problem, because, like, Ed was the darkest person on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wouldn't mind too much, but still, it's like... It's because you have somebody with an attitude like this on the show that makes me start to not trust the development of the show at all.
Yeah.
The initial pictures looked really good, and then this.
So what do you think about them making a manga with Western writers and artists?
It depends on who the Western writer and artist is. Right?
I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Did you know they are doing this?
Well, I know Cowboy Bebop is getting a comic book to go with this live action show. And the characters on the cover are modeled after the actor and actress, from what I can see.
The writer is Dan Waters, and the artist is Lamar Matherin.
Yes, I see that on the cover. I don't know these people.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who they are either. What is Comics Titan? Is that a small publishing group, or?
I think so. I don't know Titans Comics or Comics Titan. I see it written both ways. I don't know. I've never heard of them before.
Apparently, they're doing a Horizon Zero Dawn comic. Blade Runner 2029.
So they seem to just be like a license-only group.
Yeah, I think so. Doctor Who. Empire of the Wolf.
All of those always tend to be really bad. At any time that you just do a licensed comic and that's all that company ever does, they always tend to be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying before, it's kind of funny because this is always the route. Because before, Cowboy Bebop was originally an anime, and then it got like 2 different manga adaptations of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And I always find, because that's uncommon in Japan too. Like, Normally, you don't get, like, a comic adaptation of something that was already animated. It only ever goes in the other direction. Not so uncommon here. Like, we'll get, like, a graphic novel adaptation of almost anything.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes a novel adaptation.
Yeah. And those are fine. Like, I get why you want to do a novel adaptation of something. Because, especially if, like, the writer of the movie or whatever worked on the novel, there's a lot that you have to cut for the film. And you can add a lot of, like, context and all kinds of, like, side plots and stuff in a novel if you go back to it. They can be fun.
Yeah.
Normally with the graphic novel stuff, though, they don't ever add anything. Maybe they'll add some exposition, but it's like, it'll be scene for scene. They'll just expand the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Last attempt at a live-action Cowboy Bebop was Firefly. I did bring up Firefly when I was explaining Cowboy Bebop to Marsupial last time. They're very similar in, like, not so much aesthetic, but in, I guess, like, plot structure and stuff like that. Because Cowboy Bebop doesn't have much of a steampunk vibe, aside from the fact that one of the characters has, like, an auto-mail type arm. But it's more like a prosthetic than anything. It's very cyberpunk.
Right.
Oh, every place they go to is pretty technological. But it's not even, it's more just punk than anything. It's not even that cyber. It's just like other places in space.
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, if your typical sci-fi is a space opera, Cowboy Bebop is space freeform jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, it is much better than Firefly. I like Firefly too. That's not even a dig at it. Cowboy Bebop is just a better series.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen Firefly.
You've never seen Firefly either? It's only a season. It takes like no time to binge.
I keep hearing about how good it is. I've been hearing about how good it is for years.
It's great. It's one of my favorite sci-fi things.
Yeah, I guess I should watch it.
And then the movie Serenity is even better. Yeah, it's only 13 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's
I feel like I watched the first
13 half-hour episodes because of when it came out. They're not even like hour-long episodes.
Wow. I guess I could watch that.
Yeah, it takes like no time. It's like, what, 6.5 hours?
Mm-hmm. Probably less if there's no commercials.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to end up being somewhere ranging from 22 to 27 minutes, depending on what the commercial block was per that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, guess who got BTFO'd in court?
Who?
The other day. Billy Mitchell.
Oh, wow, we got to follow up on that. Okay, cool. No, I didn't see it.
Billy Mitchell's case against Twin Galaxies was dismissed without prejudice, which I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah, just case dismissed, which I don't remember which, with or without prejudice, I don't remember which means that he could refile. I feel like he cannot refile it.
No, without prejudice means it can't be refiled. That means it's just clear cut.
Yeah. So there's a brief video from Carl Jobst about it. He claimed Billy Mitchell was like trying to do a stolen valor thing and disrespecting the judge and stuff. I didn't really see it. I watched the whole thing. He wore a West Point tie because the judge went to West Point and Billy Mitchell's son went to West Point. Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
I had it backwards. With prejudice means it's dismissed permanently. Without means it's only temporarily. So he could technically refile.
Okay. Well, it's dismissed without prejudice, I believe.
Yeah, but he has to bring it to another court. Like that court won't see it anymore.
I see. Yeah, so, some people were saying, oh, stolen valor, blah, 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 but he never said, hey, I was in the military. He just wore a West Point tie, just to impress the judge, clearly. But, also because his son goes to West Point. So I think that was perfectly fine.
Parents do that stuff all the time. They represent, the schools or whatever their children go to. That's perfectly fine.
And then he also claimed that he was disrespecting the judge, but I didn't see that at all. He was upset, obviously, and he was kind of arguing, in a respectful manner with the judge and trying to say, so here's the thing. He filed the lawsuit well over a year ago. There hadn't been any action, nothing, since May of 2020. He had done nothing. And according to the rules of procedure, it was required to be dismissed. So the judge was it was supposed to be a short hearing where he just says, I'm required by law to dismiss this. End of story. Yeah. There's nothing more to it. Now, Billy Mitchell's not a lawyer. He didn't understand that there's really nothing more that the judge could do.
Yeah.
So he kind of just starts to argue, and he's like, well, the defendant didn't help me do this and didn't help me do this. The defendant has no obligation to help you with suing them.
No. The plaintiff, all the onus is on them to bring all evidence and stuff like that. The defendant just has to cover their own ass. That's their only job.
Yeah. Yeah, so his complaints were well, I didn't know where to serve them. Well, that's your problem. They don't have any obligation to help you serve them with papers, with
the only obligation a defendant has is the same obligation that the plaintiff has, and that's discovery. That's it. If you've got some type of evidence to defend yourself, even though you're under no obligation to provide evidence unless it helps defend yourself, you do have to show them. That's it. Any witnesses, you have to let them know about that. So the only obligation you have on defense is to participate in discovery. But that benefits you more than them because they're the ones that are coming with all the evidence and you get to see it all for the sake of the case.
Yeah, so they didn't even get to discovery. He basically was never able to even serve them with the lawsuit, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of blaming them and saying, I didn't know how to reach them. Well, sorry, but that's your problem. You can dodge being served, and if you can dodge it long enough, but there are ways. You just
hire a manhunter. That's whatever. Yeah, if you want to serve somebody and you don't know how to get them, just hire a bounty hunter. That's what most bounty hunters do. They don't actually collect people. That's a very rare thing to do. Most of them, they just serve subpoenas all day. That's literally 90% of what bounty hunters do is they just serve subpoenas. They're really good at finding people.
Yeah, you see it in the movies where somebody sits down at a restaurant and someone who they think is a waiter comes up and says, are you so-and-so? They're like, well, here you go. You've been served, or someone comes with flowers or whatever. And then, it's it's not up to the defendant to help you serve them, it's your job. So he argued a bit about it, and he was like, is there nothing? He's like, the judge was just like, but he was perfectly respectful, I thought. But in the end, the judge was like, there's literally nothing I can do. I'm required to dismiss this. So it's like, you didn't do anything for over a year.
Yeah. So, they were never served. If you don't get served, that's a dismissal right there. It's like there's not an actual court case if the subpoena's not served. That it doesn't exist. It's gone.
Yeah. So they didn't get to anything. They didn't get to any questions of jurisdiction or discovery or anything. They didn't get to.
You can't sue somebody that doesn't know they're being sued.
Yeah. Even if it's been in the news that, he's suing them. Well, they didn't get the papers, so.
Yeah. That's the thing, you can't even say it's public enough. There's no such thing as public enough. It could be on national news, on, the biggest station, and it's like, well, I live out in a cabin in the woods, and at most I have a radio.
Yeah. You have to inform them that they're being sued.
Yeah.
Who is Colt Seavers?
I don't know that name. Let me look this up.
So yes, I know he's got other lawsuits. I think he might even be suing
The Fall
Carl.
Guy. Okay, I didn't know that was. I never watched The Fall Guy. But that's the name of the. Fall Guy.
He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for a show, you always go with the more dramatic stuff, right? Like you can even cut in between. Like I do this in X Dynamis Chaos at one point later on. It's like with them doing that crazy stuff. Somebody's like, "Is this what you do all the time?" It's like, no, most days we're actually just helping old ladies get their groceries and stuff. This is just when we have fun, right? Like the big jobs are the only things I write about. It's like, no, they're just like getting cats out of trees or cleaning up people's yards and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he still has a lawsuit outstanding, possibly against Carl Jobst, just for like talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to get BTFO'd as well, I'm sure. But
probably. Maybe less so now that he knows he actually has to fucking get up in person and serve people.
Yeah.
Or
maybe get an attorney.
I'm assuming that's why it was without prejudice. Is like, well, no, you could still refile. You just have to actually follow the procedure this time.
Yeah. And I mean, he needed to get an attorney who would have told him all this stuff. He was a pro se litigant. He didn't have an attorney.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you had an attorney, you know who's actually really good at serving subpoenas? Attorneys' offices.
Yeah.
They do it all the fucking time. It's part of their job.
Yeah.
And if they can't do it, you know what they do? They're in contact with manhunters who can hunt down and actually serve it themselves. They have connections. That's why they have fucking, like, offices, right? You go to an agency.
Yeah, I mean, I've even heard, on Nick Rekieta's show that it's certain, depending on the court, you could potentially serve someone on Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe. As long as you communicate with them properly and everything.
You send them a PDF of the actual subpoena. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a man who represents himself in court has a fool of a client. And as Gomez Adams said, well, then I am that fool.
Mm-hmm.
Which he lost, so yes, he was 100% correct about that.
Yeah.
You want to hear something interesting?
Sure.
Apparently, Cobra Kai has already been renewed for Season 5 announced before Season 4 has even arrived.
Oh, when is Season 4 getting here?
I think, what was it, December? I think we talked about it before. I'm just trying to remember. I think it's December.
I think so.
Yeah, here we go. It's set to debut this December. But, like, so it's not even out yet, and they're just so confident in it that they've already announced that Season 5 is happening.
Cool.
Which kind of disappoints me, because it may not even be that they're so confident in it. I'm guessing Season 4 leaves us with another, like, mid-story cliffhanger.
Yeah. Possibly.
So we're probably not going to see the conclusion of the All Valley tournament until Season 5. That's my guess right here. This is going to be mostly training, and then the tournament's going to be Season 5.
That would suck. Yeah, GMT says she heard Cobra Kai started getting weird. Well, I mean, he goes to China. And it's like a little bit weird.
He didn't go to China.
Oh, did you go to Japan?
Yeah, he went to Okinawa, which is where Mr. Miyagi's from. Yeah.
Okay, he goes to Japan.
Yeah. He's been to Okinawa before. He went to the same place that he went to in the second movie. No, sorry, third movie. Second movie is when he joined Cobra Kai.
Yeah, and he met the woman who was the love interest in the second movie. Was it, or the third movie?
Third movie. It was the one where he went there. But he also met the rival too, the same guy.
Yeah.
It turned out, he grew up. He stopped being an asshole. He actually was a nice guy. They got along.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's weird.
So,
well,
I don't think.
I would say it was never not weird. It's as weird as it was from the very first episode.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny was always weird. Like, it's like
That's why I like him.
it's bizarre. It's like they plucked him out of 1990 or something and like put him into 2020, and it's like,
yeah,
how are you this clueless? Like he doesn't.
It's like
he's never.
His growth stopped at 1989, and he never developed as a person since then.
Yeah. He like never heard of the internet. He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't have a cell phone. Like where have you been for the last 20 years, dude?
Getting drunk.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, he did have a cell phone.
Oh, he did? At the
Yeah,
beginning?
because he was a handyman, right? He did like odd jobs and stuff, and he was talking to the lady over the cell phone and stuff like that. And
wasn't it like a flip phone though?
Yeah, it was like an old cell phone, but he was on a cell phone because he was up on like a cliffside parking lot or whatever, like where you go for hiking, get some fresh air. He could see the valley, and he wasn't talking to her. He was talking to the boss. He's like, no, I didn't call her a bitch. I said she was being a bitch or something like that. Is like
being bitchy or something.
Yeah, being bitchy. Yeah. Like, don't get bitchy with me. She's like, what did you say? And then he was fired because of that. Yeah, but he did have a phone. That's like the one thing that he knew about technology.
Yeah.
But he still had like a small CRT TV as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Cobra Kai was doing well that he actually got like a big flat screen or whatever in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he didn't have a computer, and then when he got a laptop, he didn't realize he had to plug it in.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Like, well, dude, even if it's got a battery, it's like, how did you think it got power? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it ran out of power. So it's a weird show, but
I like it,
Well, so here's my question: like, did they finish filming season 4 before it got renewed for season 5? Because maybe if they didn't know it was going to get reviewed.
I think they already finished filming it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too, right? Like,
it might not end in a cliffhanger.
I don't know. I think they wanted to wait to announce this.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, as I'm reading it, this article here, it just the renewal thing was like a V that was on fire. Like, they had this asset ready and everything, just to let the audience know. So I think this was something that was planned a long time ago. And maybe we won't get a cliffhanger. Maybe they have a whole new plot for season 5. Just usually when you do stuff like that, that means we're going to be stuck in the middle of another storyline for a year.
Yeah. Well, they did make it seem like they were going to wrap it up in season 4. So I hope so.
I mean, because season 2 left us on a cliffhanger. Season 3, not so much. I wouldn't say it was a cliffhanger. We knew something else was coming up, but it did kind of wrap up the plot that was going on. It wrapped up the plot from season 2. It actually even wrapped up like the drama between frickin' Daniel and Johnny, and even some of the kids, like what's his name, Hawk, went back to the good side. The most of a cliffhanger was that they like set up the next story, which is the whole we have to take down Kreese. So at least we didn't leave off on a cliffhanger then, but that's also why I'm suspicious, like, well, this might be another 2-season plot. And I thought that might have been the case even before I saw that season 5 was renewed, because I was thinking about just the pacing of the show up to this point. It's like, they're probably going to put us in another 2-season plot.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the show, but I don't like being jerked around like this, okay? Like, come on. This isn't right.
Well, I've liked the show so far, so I'm excited for 2 more seasons, at least.
Yeah. As long as, like, by the time 5 is ready, they don't like, hey, look, we've already been renewed for season 6. And I'm just going to be like...
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's possible. They could wrap up the current thing in season 4 and then have another arc for 5 and 6 together.
Yeah. Honestly, I wanted it to end at 4. I've been enjoying the show, but I think it should come to an end before it gets bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. Dogs.
Yeah, I saw him wandering around. Man, whatever happened to the days when, like, Star Trek: The Next Generation just kept getting better and better and better, and season 7 was arguably the best one of all. They just can't seem to continue to get better after, a certain number of seasons.
Yeah.
I was just saying, used to be like the old Star Trek shows would end on a high note. Like the last seasons were usually the best, or at least, maybe season 6 was the best and season 7 was, almost as good. And then they'd end it.
Yeah. Well, so here's the problem with Star Trek and why I think it always ramped up for each season or like each series is Star Trek didn't often share writers in between shows, right? Like the first one, I actually thought was better early on than it was later for the original series, but in the original series, Gene was still around writing the show. So he got all like his fun ideas out. Well, I wouldn't even say at the very beginning, about season 2, right? After they had already been established, they know that they've got some ground, and he's like, okay, now we can do some fun stuff, right? Oh, hey, GMT, thanks for filling out the end of our monthly hosting fees. If anybody donates from here on out, that would literally just be bonus. But we are covered for the month. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, GMT.
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
I especially appreciate that.
Yes,
I'm the one who usually pays for these fees. Though, I mean, you've been tipping like every single month to help chip in.
Yeah.
For the time that I've had.
Well, any additional goes to the No More Heroes 3 fund.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but yeah, I would say like it was just after the beginning that the original series really got good because they're like, okay, we're on the air, people know who we are, we can do the fun stuff now. But the later ones all had like different writers every single show, right? Especially when they were at the point that they were getting ready for the next show while a show was still running, right? So it's almost like the writers needed to find their foothold every single show. And that's why I think they usually ramped up. It's like, okay, these are some newer writers. They're getting used to it. They're getting good as they're going through. That's not typically the case with most of these like Netflix series or even modern TV shows. A lot of times the writers will be somebody who tried something before, didn't necessarily do as well. They've got like a really cool idea now. It starts off strong and then it kind of just like feathers out.
Yeah, who were the Star Trek writers back in the 90s? Mark Berman.
Yeah. I remember him. I don't remember who else was on there.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, they had several writers. Ronald.
Yeah, well, Next Generation at least too. It went on for so long, but
yeah. Oh, Rick Berman. I was thinking of the executive producers.
I remember Berman. That's all I remembered there. I assumed you were just right on the first name.
Yeah, the executive producer is Rick Berman and Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
Until he died. But anyway, yeah. Even good shows seem to peter out after a few seasons.
Well, what can you do forever, right? You can't just do the same thing forever. I mean, not every show can be Stargate SG-1. Where you can go on for 10 seasons and all of them still be great.
Yeah. Very few and far between.
Yeah. fact, in some cases, I think it might be better that a show like Firefly ended at the first season. A second season probably would have been great. I mean, it's usually you don't run out of ideas by the second season, but sometimes it's just good to end while you're still great.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping they can last for 5 seasons.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, what else is going on?
I don't know. I was trying to remember like some of the stuff that we didn't cover yesterday because I had a lot of stuff pulled up yesterday. One of them was the Cowboy Bebop comic book thing. Since we were talking about even the show a little bit, I thought that would have been interesting to talk about. We just didn't get to it. And now we did talk about it on kind of a sour note, and that was kind of disappointing. Because this comic looks like it's going to be following exactly in line with the show. I'm assuming that it's going to cover the show first, but then maybe show some side plots that won't be in it. I don't know.
Arby's is selling Arby's branded D&D dice.
Nice. Dude, Arby's is like some of the best marketing on the internet. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. But like, they're great.
Yeah, I used to love their commercials for Arby's roast beef sale.
No, but like the have you ever seen like the Instagram or Facebook posts? I think they put the same ones on Twitter's too. For Arby's. For like the last a little more than half a decade now, maybe since like 2013 or whatever might have been when it started. They've got people that like they'll just do all of these, I guess, memes, right? They'll take like Arby's products and they'll make some type of image out of them. Sometimes they'll cut some cardboard or whatever, and it'll just have to do with something that's coming out. So they'll ride the hype train of whatever it is. If like a Pokemon come out, they'll do like a little Arby's Pokemon image. If fucking new Dragon Ball Super gets renewed, they're gonna cut in cardboard with Goku and use the ketchup to make the orange on his clothes or whatever. You know, they're very creative and they get all the attention. I used to like some of their posts so much that I went through some of my Facebook memories, and occasionally I'll see me reposting like, oh, hey, there was a Sailor Moon one. Or something like that.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten at Arby's?
Yeah.
Or eaten from Arby's?
It's I've had better, but I've had worse at the same time. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's very bad. I mean, I don't think it's bad at all. I've had, like, roast beef sandwiches. I've had, like, barbecue, like their barbecue roast beef. And
I don't like the roast beef sandwich.
Oh, really?
I used to a long time ago. I don't know what because you know they marinate their roast beef at the factory or whatever. I think they changed the recipe of whatever they marinated because I remember back in like the 90s I liked it, and then sometime in the aughts I stopped liking their roast beef.
Yeah, well, that's the only point of reference I had. She said, I guess the Daily Show didn't like Arby's.
It's not as bad as the Daily Show said.
Yeah.
I can name a lot of fast food restaurants that people like that are worse than Arby's.
Yeah. I would say it's similar, you know, in some ways to like a hamburger that you'd get at
it's
McDonald's
mid.
or Wendy's
like,
or whatever.
It's not bad at all. It's just mid. It's acceptable. If like somebody said, hey, we're all going to Arby's, anybody can find something they like there. I actually kind of like their gyros.
Oh.
Yeah, their gyros aren't bad. Yeah. They are the most acceptable fast food gyro I've ever had. Because normally I will only accept one from like an actual cafe where they know what they're doing. And those are still way fucking better than the ones at Arby's. But...
yeah, like from an actual Greek restaurant?
Yeah. But the Arby's ones are acceptable. Because any other time I've tried to have a fast food gyro from a place, it's been absolute garbage.
Of course, I like, you know, Taco Bell and Popeyes, and I like all kinds of fast food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had Arby's a couple of times, and I've enjoyed it perfectly fine.
think it's actually the only thing I get now is the gyro, just because they have it. They have it in 3 different options.
I'll have to try that.
They have a beef, they have, I think, a chicken, and they have a Greek gyro, which is, the Greek style is the actual gyro. The other things are just kind of like mocks, and I guess it's for people who kind of like, they like the wrap, right? That's what they want. They want like a pita wrap or something, and that's the only way they offer it at Arby's. But like the Greek style is the actual one. It comes with the cucumber and sour cream sauce, right? That you normally have for a gyro. It's not even actually sour cream. It's more of like a yogurt, but I mean they're both made from the same thing. It's like a Greek yogurt almost, but it's lighter. So it's still basically sour cream.
It's like a cucumber sauce.
It is a cucumber sauce. That's what they call it. A lot of people call it the Z sauce as well. It's a Greek cucumber sauce.
Yeah. GMT says, "Give me a homemade cheddar sandwich and a cup of tea every time." Is that like like grilled cheese? What is a cheddar sandwich?
It's a sandwich with cheddar.
Yeah, but is it grilled? Is it melted?
Historically, you could either eat it hot or that's where the term finger sandwiches started coming out. So people would eat cheese sandwiches with their tea around tea time, right? But people also used to wear gloves for a really long time, so you would have a hot cheese sandwich with your tea. And eventually, not everything has to be grilled. Eventually,
with lots and lots of butter.
Because, it would get the gloves messy. And also sometimes people weren't wearing gloves all the time. They just started eating it not grilled and like, oh, it's still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I can only picture having cheddar cheese like between 2 crackers. I wouldn't want to put it on bread unless it was grilled.
I mean, people do.
But I've had cheese and cracker. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go check on these dogs. I'll be right back.
All right. Not everything has to be fried either, but it makes it better. It always makes it better. Somebody was arguing with me about fried fish. Who doesn't like fried fish? Man, fried catfish is the best. But apparently not everybody agrees.
Not everybody agrees with what?
That fried fish is awesome.
Fried fish is okay.
Do we have Digestive Biscuits cookies over there? What is what? I guess not. I gotta look this up. What's digestive about them?
I think they're supposed to help like absorb the stomach acid and prevent acid reflux.
Oh, it's a brand name. Is it a brand name? Oh my. No, we do not. Ooh, milk chocolate flavor. Wow. It looks awesome, but no, I've never even heard of this. Digestives, the original wheat biscuits.
Oh yeah, we have those.
Cookies. But they're cookies.
Yeah, they're cookies.
They're not actually. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think we have this brand.
No, but we have those. I actually probably have some in this house.
Really?
I'd have to look for them, but yeah.
I guess they're not a brand so much as, I don't know. The one I found was McVitie's.
To be fair, Buck's grandmother is from Brighton. So when, she comes over here, she still likes a lot of very British things.
Here we go. What exactly are digestive cookies, and are they good for you? Would you like to know?
Sure.
Confusing and frankly unappealing name. Having never noticed difference in my own digestion after eating them, I've long wondered, are they actually a digestive aid? Could eating them trigger more bathroom trips? Will digestives improve not just my mood, but also my health?
Well, so the brand, too, it's banned in the U.S., right? You have to get it under different names or brands. One of the reasons you can't call them digestives because they trigger the false advertising part for the FDA because they don't actually help. But in international aisles, you can find them. They just have to be called different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's saying because there's baking soda in the biscuits, which is a bicarbonate, it could act as an antacid.
Yeah. Well, I was saying it's if you eat it afterwards, it can help like acid reflux and stuff like that.
Yeah. And they have whole wheat flour, which is obviously, good fiber. But yeah, I think you're right, because basically we have very, very strict guidance or strict guidelines, laws that prevent you from saying something has a specific medical effect if there's no like double-blind studies, peer-reviewed and all that shit. So.
But it's also the idea of where like wheat thins come from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because digestives predate wheat thins.
So yeah, I guess we do. They're just not called that.
Yeah.
They look delicious, especially the ones with chocolate on them. Frankly, yeah, you could go to the cookie aisle and get, they're called Keebler. I'm sure there's a Keebler cookie that is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think in many ways it is very good that we're very, what's it called? Very restrictive on naming for products.
Yeah.
And that's because, one, people are fucking stupid. They don't actually read about what they're buying. They see a product name and they're like, oh, the product name must be exactly what it says. Right? No buyer beware on that.
Yeah.
So it's better to just prohibit people from falsely labeling their stuff for any advertisement reason.
Yeah. GMT knows what's up. Fish and chips. I completely forgot about fish and chips.
Yeah, yeah.
I love fried fish. That's good stuff. You know who it was? It was 6 a.m. Comics.
All the time.
It was 6 a.m. Comics on Twitter, and everybody should now go harass him and tell him that fried fish is awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, fish and chips is great.
Yeah, GMT says, wait, you have a brand called Lay's. How many people get laid by them?
See, that passes through because that was somebody's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lay's was I think a surname, and so was Frito, believe it or not. That was actually somebody's surname. And now they're the same company. It's just the Frito-Lay's, the Frito-Lay's company.
Yeah. Somebody was named Frito? Really?
You'd be surprised what kind of names that people have. It doesn't sound that weird. It almost sounds like a romantic name. Frito. You can see that almost any of like the romance languages would probably produce a name like that.
Sounds like Fredo from Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have somebody's surname on something, that'll pass through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, apparently Canada has Lay's chips there too.
Where's the Frito-Lay company? Because if I remember, it's actually like centrally located.
So do you know anything about Saints Row?
Yeah, that's right. They're right next to me. They're Plano. I thought they were close.
Plano, Texas.
Yeah. What about Saints Row? I know they're rebooting it. Is that what you're getting on?
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a whole
really
big controversy.
Dumb.
Yeah. Well, who are the original characters? Like, well, in what way are these characters not like the originals, I guess?
I really haven't looked too much at them. I remember the original characters I liked Saint Row 1 and 2. I thought those games were good. I wasn't such a fan of 3 or 4. I thought they were going downhill at that point. I thought 1 was better than 2 because one of the things Saint Row had over other games of its type, being the fact that it was kind of like a GTA clone, was that Saints Row had a territory mechanic where you were trying to capture the entire city to be in your gang. You were marking your territory, and that was really cool. After the first one, they kind of just started going towards comedy. They're like, that's what we're going to use to distinguish ourselves. GTA is more takes itself a little too seriously. We're just going to be ridiculous. And it's like, the comedy's not that good. I get why you want to do it, but you're starting to lose me because you're not focusing on the mechanic I liked about your game, which was the whole like territory thing.
Yeah.
But there was the main character who technically has a name that, like, where he's got like an identifying name. I don't. Go away, dog. This dog keeps bothering me as if he's gonna get like food or a treat or something. He already ate, and it's annoying the heck out of me. But he technically has a name. I think they just call him the boss or whatever. He's a created character, kind of like you make the main character. You're probably still going to do that in this one, so that's not the problem. The complaints people are having are the supporting cast.
Yeah, no. So this is basically kind of like GTA.
Yes.
The Grand Theft Auto series. Okay.
Except in GTA, you always have a character per the game. GTA is very narrative driven, right? So you're assigned a character. Like you are in, like, Zelda, you're assigned Link. You can name the character, it doesn't matter. But in Saints Row, you actually make the character, the boss of the group. And you become the leader of the 3rd Street Saints. That's why it's the Saints Row. In the second one, you're busting out of fucking jail. It's got a great opening. But the supporting cast had always been kind of ethnically diverse, so that's not like a problem. It's not like they're changing much about that, except that they're changing the entire crew. It's not the same characters. This reboot is a new story. It's not a remake. It's a reboot, right? And the old crew were pretty hardcore because they were gang members, right? They were the type of people you'd expect to be gang members. The type of person that might shank somebody. They were dealing drugs and stuff like that. They were pretty tough. The type of people you'd expect to see in like a mob movie or something. Even the women in the crew. This new crew look like a bunch of woke hipsters.
Yeah.
They look frail, to be honest. They don't look like they'd be able to handle the gangster life.
Yeah, there's like a woman of indeterminate race, but black hair, a black guy who looks like a typical comic book, completely neutered, like bookworm, like completely like the way that they make black people in comic books, where they're completely just like nerdy and not at all threatening at all. And then there's what's his name? What was it? Ruby Rod from Fifth Element. This is the third guy.
Chris Tucker in
drag. Yeah, and then a guy who looks vaguely Hispanic, but actually looks like the coolest one at the end.
Yeah, let me look up a picture. Because I looked at it once. So, like, the coolest character in Saints Row was Johnny Gat, who was kind of like he was fairly short for a guy compared to the other people, but he was the toughest motherfucker in the whole group. The coolest person too. He even like dies a hero. And there's even a point where he has a spin-off game called Gat Out of Hell, as TNT shows up, where you play as Johnny Gat in hell.
Okay.
It's actually really fun. I was not a fan of Saints Row 3 or 4. Gat Out of Hell was a pretty fun game. Yes, they're still calling the main character the boss. I see that. And the other supportings are Eli, Nina, and Kevin. So, I don't know.
Kevin! Get Out of Hell.
Yeah, Get Out of
Is
Hell.
it like a first-person shooter thing?
No, it's third person.
Or third-person shooter?
It's still kind of like the same type of like GTA style game, but
Oh.
with
Yeah, I see
superpowers,
the demons.
because you start getting like the powers of the demons and shit, and Gat starts flying around and everything.
Interesting. But yeah, it is funny how they decided to make the crew basically the Burger King Kids Club.
Yeah, but I mean, even the original crew was it has nothing to do with being like ethnically diverse or anything, right? Like, yeah, it's the Burger King's Kids Club because they all don't seem like they belong as gangsters.
Yeah.
Like, all these people look like they would be rolled in the very first fight that they get into.
Yeah, yeah.
How are they going to solve any territory disputes? That's my problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that last guy, I mean, he looks like he's straight out of what was that show with the situation or whatever it's called?
Oh, the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Jersey Shore. He looks like he's straight out of the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, he might be able to handle himself a little bit. I don't think he'd handle himself enough to make up for the rest of his crew.
Yeah.
Now, the boss, you're going to be able to control the look. Hopefully that they're not going to pull a Mass Effect Andromeda and kind of like neuter your character creation ability so that you're limited to looking like a frail hipster.
Yeah.
But it's just basically be you two. You two are going to have to carry everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in the last game, there was one person that kind of held your team back in that department. That was Chandi. But she was also kind of like the brains of the operation. And more than made up with it. So, one of those other two people can probably handle that fine. But, like, Chandi was also still good with a gun. And she still kind of seemed a little tough. Like, she was the type of person you didn't want to cross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that. None of these people look like the type of person you wouldn't want to cross.
Yeah. Probably the type of people that, have never seen a gun in real life and would probably scream and run away.
But you know what? That's the type of people working on these games now, so I'm not surprised that that's what they would want, right? Because it's not like the old school, right? Where it's like game developers, no, I don't want to make characters that are like me. I don't want to make a fun game. Modern game developers, it's like, well, everybody needs representation, including me, the game developer.
You think they learned from Blizzard? Blizzard's taking representation out of their games.
Yeah.
Like literal representation by removing the names of real people. GMT says she wouldn't scream and run away from a gun because she can't run at 700 miles per
Well,
hour.
you can run away from a gun. It's the bullet that's the problem.
Yeah. Could run. Yeah, if they throw a gun at you, you could run away from that.
Yeah, I mean, well, a gun also can't move, right? Like,
that's right.
The bullet, on the other hand, once fired from the gun, that's oof.
Yeah. She's never seen the Jersey Shore.
You're better off.
Weren't they always like doing laundry and I don't know what else. I just remember they did a lot of laundry.
It's just a bunch of fucking Guidos, right? That's the problem. Bunch of
hanging
partiers.
out at the beach. Yeah.
The type of people that everybody hates.
Here's something weird. Gargura is playing Devil May Cry 3 Boss Rush.
Why is that weird?
Just not. I don't know. It's just, she's such a cute little character. Don't expect her to play a game called Devil May Cry.
Everybody should play Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is one of the best franchises out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude. I love Devil May Cry. Dante is one of my favorite characters in, like, fiction.
Mm-hmm. That was made using the Cry engine, right?
No.
It wasn't?
So. I don't think it might have been. I don't think so, though.
I thought that's what the Cry engine was named after.
Was it? Maybe, I don't know.
I thought so. Unless I'm thinking of something else.
Well, because it's Capcom. Did Capcom do the Cry engine? Because normally Capcom works on with their own engines, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm mixing it up.
No, they use RE.
Oh, Far Cry. Not
Yeah,
Devil
that's the
May
one
Cry.
with Cry. That's I thought it was RE. They used the RE engine originally because the original Devil May Cry was actually made in Resident Evil 2. They just took all the assets out and restructured the game, and then they started building up from there. I thought it was the Resident Evil engine. I was like, yeah, no, that sounded so weird to me. It's like it's not the Cry engine.
No, I was thinking of Far Cry. Hey, all these Cry games mixed up.
I mean, I don't dislike Far Cry, especially the earlier ones, but Devil May Cry I think is a much better series. If we're gonna compare games with Cry in the title. Yeah, I love it. Like, so Devil May Cry 3 takes place before 1 and 2 chronologically. It's a prequel, so he didn't have a title for his business. Dante is a freelancer. But so he gets hired to do like a lot of odd jobs, but usually it's because he's a demon hunter, and all the jobs he gets hired for end up having like demons involved. People call him for that reason. He's got a few contacts that use him regularly, and that was the original DMC was made from Resident Evil 2. Because the first
But it doesn't take place.
It's not
like part of the same universe.
No.
It's just
no, it's its own thing.
That's how they made it.
And yeah, so he gets hired to like hunt down demons and stuff like that. But he didn't have a name for his business in 3. And at the end, he lets out a tear because he had to like fight his brother, and his brother got trapped in hell, right? His twin brother Virgil. So he lets out a tear. And Lady, the woman in the game, kind of like the supporting character in that kind of like Bond way. There's like a different supporting woman character in most of the games. It's like, oh, I guess devils do cry, or devils may cry. Like she says in that one. It's like, so that was the name of the place at the end too. He even picks up the phone. He goes, "Devil may cry. Please hold." But then there's a funny thing. I don't know why they didn't keep that. I know it was kind of just like a joke added in at the end of the first game, but he really should have changed the name of the business, because at the end of the first one, there's a line that says that devils never cry. And then when Trish picks up the phone at the end in that same way, she's like, "Devil never cry. How can I help you?" And they should have just kept the business like that. I know it was just an inserted joke at the end that wasn't technically part of the game, but I don't know. It's the type of continuity I would have liked to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you answered Joshua's question there.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, apparently Devil May Cry 3 is available on the Switch, by the way.
It's the best version of the game.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is the definitive version. It's got features in it no other version of the game had, which is pretty impressive to be adding features to a game that came out on the PlayStation 2. But, like, you know, some games have done it. Like, Final Fantasy Zodiac Age, like the 12, was originally a PlayStation 2 game. That's got added features, but not just for the Switch. Like, other versions have been having added features to it because Zodiac Age is a remake. This is supposed to be a port. It's like a straight-up port. And they decided for the Switch version they were going to add features to this straight-up port, which includes Dante's Devil May Cry 5 ability to switch up his stances or his styles on the fly. So you no longer have to go to the equipment menu to switch the style before the missions or at the statues in the middle. And you also have true multiplayer in the Bloody Palace, which is kind of like one of those kind of like wave things. It's a bonus mode where you go from floor to floor to floor, and each floor gets tougher. and you have like limited resources. But now you can play as Dante and Virgil in the Bloody Palace together with a friend. So this actually is the best version of the game, is the Switch version.
Yeah, I'm looking at graphics comparison too.
Yeah,
and it's interesting that they obviously started with very high quality graphics and downsampled them way down for the PS2, but you can tell in the later versions for PC and Switch that it's much higher quality.
Oh yeah. Like I have the PC version of it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3 is my favorite of the series, and honestly, it's most people's favorite of the series, which is why they've ported it a couple times. There needs to be a port of DMC 1 and 2 for PC and stuff. Not that most people will even play 2. It's like the least favorite game in the entire series for some pretty good reasons. Because it was basically still the first game, but they ruined the balance of combat, and it became less combo heavy and really focused on just using your guns all the time. Which for a game that was supposed to be very combo heavy game where you switched between your melee and projectile weapons back and forth and stuff to get combo chains, relying entirely on your guns kind of ruins the gameplay. And there was a lot of other random bullshit about it. Level design wasn't as good, stuff like that. With Devil May Cry 3, they used a different engine. I think it was upgraded to the Resident Evil 4 and 5 engine, which they shared one, which would explain why it looks so good by comparison. But the first two were done on the Resident Evil 2 and 3 version of the engine. And the first one at least had like a really good dungeon design to it and had good gameplay. It doesn't hold up as well as 3 does, but it's still better than 2. 4 is fun, but it's a little disappointing because Dante's not the main character of 4. Because Dante was currently in hell. He went there at the end of 2. And he comes out of it, and you do get to play Dante in 4, but he's not part of the story. All you see is it's just Nero's story again, but you're playing it as Dante. There's different scenes, like he interacts with the enemies and stuff like that. It's as if he was playing the game, but that's not the story. He's not part of it. It's really disappointing, especially because you have to play through the whole game before you can even play as Dante. And then he's only partially the main character of Devil May Cry 5 that came out recently, within like the last couple years, where Nero, and a character named V, who is a returning character, but for those who haven't played the game yet, it's still fairly new. I'm not going to spoil it for people. Like I said, it's only a few years old now. But there's 3 main characters that you have to rotate between in that game. And it takes you a while before you get to play as Dante as well. Still a fun game, but I think 3 just holds up as the best game in the series.
Well, okay.
Devil May Cry. The original game was actually co-created by Hideki Kamiya, who is the creator of Platinum Games. Back when he was in Grasshopper Studios. He was also the same guy who made Beautiful Joe, Okami, and a few other things. Yeah. But he left Capcom and Grasshopper Studio and made Platinum Games. So he's also made Bayonetta, which you can see Bayonetta is basically just a Devil May Cry game. It plays the same way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the type of gameplay that is. It's Bayonetta. It's a Devil May Cry game. And he's made a lot of. He made the Wonderful 100 and stuff like that. Is it Wonderful 101 or whatever? I think it's the Wonderful 100. And stuff like that. He's still doing pretty strong, and he came back for the first time since the first game to help create Devil May Cry 5. They contacted him and pulled him back into the studio.
Hmm. And also, Platinum Games made Nier Automata, which is
Yes, they published Nier Automata.
yeah, which is where I got that picture that I tweeted to GMT the other day.
Yeah.
So it all comes back around.
Well, even crossover, Yoko Taro, who's the guy who makes the Nier franchise,
Hmm.
directed a game for Platinum recently. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was it's like something Link. It's a Switch-only game, because Platinum mostly does stuff for the Switch now because Nintendo's giving them a lot of money.
Hmm.
God, Astral Link, I think was the name of it, where you play as two different characters that are like ethereally linked together, and they do like chain and combo stuff. It's a fun game.
Speaking of which, I think we should end with this.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna screen share this.
We were coming to the normal time that we've been doing this.
Yeah, there's now a mod for Nier Automata that adds the Amogus character to it. Sorry for the low quality, but
Yeah.
how awesome is that?
I guess that's kind of cool. I don't know. I've been seeing too much Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an Amogus mod for Nier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's a good thing to end out on.
Yeah, Joshua says sus. Exactly.
Very sus. A sussy baka. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and a extra special thanks to GMT for finishing off the little hosting fee bar.
Thank
so
you
now
so much.
everything is covered. And if you enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with somebody else who might like it. And if you really enjoy it, even though we're full, you can totally still donate at streamlabs.com/vomitorium live. Anything left over will either get rolled over into just the pool for the next month, but or also will go towards me getting No More Heroes 3 sooner. Yeah. And until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
start to play. Mamma mia!